If you're watching, this is actually the last day. So I'm recording this while I'm teaching the class. So I'm going to start with the video. I'm going to share the video here. Pop up the video. So I'm just going to show you the screen.
Greek life, is it worth joining? Personally, I found that Greek life has been worth joining. At the very least, it's a great way to meet a lot of new people and kind of build community that way. But it also really pushed me out of my comfort zone. I never saw myself joining Greek life before coming to Denison. I was kind of intimidated by it. Yeah. Even just going through the process of recruitment and getting to talk to a bunch of new people really kind of like pushed me to open up. Yeah. Greek life is also a great opportunity to get involved in leadership opportunities. Yeah. And that is great for your resume as well. I was director of academics for my organization. So that gave me like really good community skills and like complex thinking and problem solving. So it's really great leadership skills through that. And it also kind of has given me a larger sense of purpose through the philanthropic work. Yeah. Raising money and supporting a good cause. I do really appreciate though at Denison that Greek life is not a make or break thing at all. No. Like I want to say a third of our students participate in Greek life. So if you want to get involved, awesome, great. And if you don't want to get involved, awesome, okay. Great. You can still support the philanthropy events or go to formals.
Okay, so what I love about that video, everybody, is that's a personal experience. Okay. So I'm going to just basically, I'm going to share the screen one more time. Just kind of start with why, and I'm just going to type in the word Greek row. That's all I'm typing in. You could do the same at home. And then I'm going to give you the images. No, you don't get my location. So what you'll see in the video, these are actual sorority and fraternity houses. They are literally giant two-story houses. And you'll see 2 or 3 Greek letters on the house. And you will see on each college campus a row, a street. It's called Greek row. So you'll see a street or a row of these Greek houses, and they're pretty big, everybody. Okay, so let's stop share there. Okay, so they're pretty big. So what attracts a student to a college? Well, the college's reputation, as well as does it have Greek life? Well, almost every college campus does. Because college is hard. To walk on a campus at 18, and let me tell you what happens when you're a senior in high school. All your friends scatter. You go to different schools. To be on campus, let's say you're at Texas A&M or UT Austin, that's 35,000 kids. You're welcome to get a cough drop if you want to. That helps. You don't have to, or water, whatever. It's overwhelming. You don't know anybody. It's lonely. You know, you're stuck in your dorm room on a Friday or Saturday night. So sororities are basically social groups, right? Most college campuses, almost all of them, offer some kind of Greek life. So Greek life refers to fraternity, male. So this is all male. Sorority, all female. Don't really combine them. It's either a guy group or a female group. Designated groups are labeled with 2 or 3 Greek letters of the alphabet to differentiate one from the other. So a Greek house, a Greek chapter, so to speak, is kind of like, let me give you the analogy, Chick-fil-A. Have you noticed that Chick-fil-A is run kind of the same? They're pretty good service. Their drive-throughs are very efficient because it's a franchise. And a franchise has to follow the rule from the national organization. So do Greek fraternities and sororities. They are chapters of a big, giant organization. So for example, you could have the same chapter at OU, at the University of Arkansas, at Texas A&M, at UT Austin. You could have the same chapter 9,000 places in the United States and Canada. So each Greek house is its own separate entity apart from a bigger national network. Okay. The recruitment process starts in August. Okay. So what happens is you can research, your campus. When is pledge week? When is rush week? So there are three stages. The first stage is rush. A potential candidate will probably have to go, it's usually about 5 days. They go about 10 days early before your school classes start, probably before you move in. And you are basically interviewing for a job. You have to look the part. So I told the girls it's like trying out for the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. Hair, makeup, perfect attire. I would tell you the same. Not a cheap suit, probably a nice button-down shirt, nice slacks, nice shorts, polo, whatever the brand is. So you got to invest a little bit of money. But they already have everything digitally. They already have your recommendation letters. They already have your GPA. And boy, that'll get you in the door pretty good if you have a high GPA. What they want to do is they want to meet you face to face. This is your face to face interview. So you go from house to house to house to house, and you try to impress the sophomores, juniors, and seniors in that fraternity or sorority. Does that make sense? If you impress them, um, you move to stage two, they will give you a formal bid. So the formal bid is an invitation to join. So you could hypothetically get 10 bids, which means you could choose whatever you wanted. You could hypothetically get 0. Okay. Um, Once, let's say you get the bid, if chosen, you receive a formal bid. Once you accept it, you've entered into stage two, you are an official pledge. Okay, well, if you're an official pledge, that's like an intern, right? That's like being your first year in the hospital. You get all the bad jobs, the grunt works, right? And it's mandatory. You can't say no. You're trying to prove your allegiance. You can't say no. You've got to show up for every social event. Um, Learn about the history of your specific chapter, what the Greek symbols mean. The final stage is the controversial initiation stage. You have to prove your allegiance. So this is where hazing comes into play. This is before the formal induction of members. And this is where we'll talk about the other side. Did you do the other side already? Yeah. Hazing can be mild, from having males wear an adult diaper and nothing else and carry around a bottle across the campus and walk across, which is kind of silly and funny, um, um, to something really tragic and scary. Um, once you are in, um, this is your brotherhood, this is your sisterhood. And here's the good news. So we're going to kind of go through the packet here. What is a sorority, a fraternity? You will feel part of a community, a sisterhood or a brotherhood. This is something really important when you're a freshman, when you're brand new on a campus, to have a group of people who have your back, a group of people who will support you, a group of people when you're alone on a Friday or Saturday night will get you out and say, let's go hang out. You will not be lonely. You will not be depressed. That goes a long way. I tell my students, I always tell my employees, I have 3 employees going off to college, and 4, actually, all 4 going off to college. One of them's going to TAMS, but she still is going off to college. And I tell them the academic part's the easy part. They're like, what? I said, you're going to find after taking all these AP courses, y'all, you're going to go to college and you're going to go, the academics is pretty easy. The social is really hard. Navigating the world without mom and dad doing things for you, your safety net being ripped away, you're going to face some trials. Guys, you're going to fall on your face and it's going to be hard. Your sorority brothers or sisters will pick you up. They'll have your back. They'll make it a little bit more tolerable for you. So what is the purpose? They set a high standard for academic achievement and behavior. Um, their purpose is to really bring students onto a campus. It's part of the appeal. Students won't go to campuses that don't have a big Greek life. The next stage talks about 4 benefits. I'm on page 2 of joining Greek life. Academics. You have to, by the way, my son this is my autistic son who went to Stephen F. Austin. And when he told us he was pledging a frat, my husband and I were like, oh, he's going to get bullied to death, right? Because he's kind of quirky and nerdy and odd. And I asked my son recently when I was doing this, I said, why did you get in? He goes, my GPA. I had a 4.0. You know, this fraternity just happened to need a higher GPA to, you know, to keep everybody, to lift the entire chapter up. So they really do like smart kids. They want you to help them. Um, but even if you have a semester where you drop or have something happen, they're going to get you a tutor. They're going to support you. They're not going to let you fail. Philanthropy. So what's really cool about Greek houses as well is it gets you away from this me-centric idea, like it's all about me. So philanthropy is giving to others, giving to the community. So here's what's really interesting about Greek houses. That house that I showed you, you have to maintain that house. That house, you have you have your sophomores, juniors, and seniors are running that corporation. So look at the skills you're learning, right? Um, you're learning that I need to give to my community. We need to have a coat drive in the winter. Maybe we need to have, trying to think what else is philanthropic. You know, you go into schools and you help tutor the special needs kids. Um, Philanthropy, they're actively involved in charitable causes, and you will be required to participate in those activities, or throw them. Social and professional networking, you're going to see this one over and over again, article after article after article. And this is what I said on the other side as well. Imagine that you have one chapter and there are chapters on multiple college campuses in multiple states, and it's a national organization. Imagine all the Chick-fil-A's that you can network with. Um, the odds are pretty good you're going to have a job faster than someone who's not in a fraternity or sorority, just because of the access to networking, your connections, your social connections. Um, Campus involvement, interesting. More sorority members and fraternity members are involved in student government, student affairs, and other student-led organizations aside from their fraternity or sorority. Um, so this means you're probably more likely to get an internship, more likely to get a summer job, and more likely to get a job upon graduation sooner than someone who was not in a fraternity or sorority. So it is beneficial to you. Going to go to page 7, I believe. Yes, page 7. Okay, I'm going to go to 6 first. What is Greek life? Students who belong and participate in certain on-campus organizations, split into gender subsets, fraternities for men, sororities for women. Each is called a house, receives a name comprised of 2 to 3 Greek letters of the Greek alphabet. There may be several different chapters across the country at different colleges. They adhere to their own sets of tradition and rules, and they expect their members to follow. Potential members must pledge to these houses and have a sponsor before they can become full members. They may also require a legacy, like a parent or sibling or previous member, to be eligible to join. Some of them are really exclusive, really, really hard to join. We talked about that with side 2. There are 6 types. The number 1 type is social based. And this is the type that we're pretty much talking about today. Most people go into a social based. They strengthen your social skills, your interpersonal growth, character building. Service-based organizations really are focused on outreach events, charitable projects, professional. You'll see a lot of professional fraternities and sororities in graduate schools. Honors, this is usually by invitation only. Usually, it's kind of like the dean's list. You're in an honor society. Faith and ethnic-based Greek organizations, any culture or sorority. So we'll talk about why there's so many different kinds. Now you know, right, Sai, why there are so many different kinds. What kind of happened with, if you don't fit the mold, you created your own. Does that make sense? So let's say you're Asian, and a lot of these sororities were white, and they have been predominantly white. And they didn't accept Asian people. You'd go in and create your own. Same thing for Jewish people or African American people. They create their own. And why not? You hang out usually with your own ethnic group, don't you? Do you hang out with white people? You bring a white person over to your house? I don't think so. Do they bring you over to their house? Right? Isn't it interesting how ethnic groups really don't mix? And same thing happens on college campuses and these organizations. So you kind of find an ethnic group, maybe a religious group, like, it could be a Hindu group, or it could be a Muslim group, it could be a Christian group or a Jewish group. It improves leadership skills. And the reason is you're running your Greek chapter. When you pledge, when you're going through this rush period, they're looking to see, wow, they could like really run this really well. He could be a future president. So there's literally a hierarchy. You have a president, a vice president, a treasurer, secretary, maybe a socials person. Um, so you're going to develop skills, and a lot of job opportunities will look to see if you were in a sorority fraternity. So if you were the president of your fraternity, that's going to be a plus on your resume for a job. They're going to go, whoa, they ran their fraternity. Wow. Right. 76% of members of Congress, 85% of Fortune 500 company executives have belonged to fraternities. There's an impressive link to Greek life organization and improved interpersonal leadership skills. Students engaging in a fraternity or sorority have the opportunity to be in good company and learn essential skills for post-college life. They will see firsthand what it means to be a leader, how to cooperate and collaborate with others. So I think it's just a different skill set you learn that you wouldn't learn in a college classroom. Fosters a sense, excuse me, of community and connectiveness. Sorry. Greek life organizations help students feel an increased sense of belonging within their chosen institution. Many members form lifelong friendships with one another. This is an environment of feeling more connected. So usually when you're a freshman, you have a big brother, or you can pledge any year, basically. But you have a big brother or big sister, and their job is really to mentor you. If it's not going well, here's what you do. If you don't know what, because you're like thrown into this, you don't know what you're doing. So they kind of partner you up. This is a dedicated, supportive community. It will help you with mental health issues like depression and anxiety. And I've got bad news for you. You're going to have it. College is tough. Even when you're far away from home, your family will become your Greek brothers and sisters. It really is your family away from home. Offers opportunities for outreach. Greek life can help you step outside of your usual me-centered college bubble. And this is really the philanthropy. This is the charity. And also, you've got to fundraise. So, for example, my son's fraternity was SIGTOP at SFA, and they raised most of their money in October. They did this really elaborate Halloween haunted house. And you can imagine how popular that would be on a college campus. And they went big time. They spent a lot of money, but they made a lot of money. I think it was like $60 a ticket. And they did it for like 3 weeks in October, right? And the kids on campus loved it. They would even come back multiple times. And it was Friday and Saturday night. Yeah. So I think it was Friday, Saturday, maybe Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, maybe Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't know. Um, Social experiences involvement facilitates networking with alumni. This is the like number one benefit. These organizations connect you specifically to a robust roster of past alumni members. You can have a mentoring and shadowing opportunities within your field. You have more connection to that mentor. Enable support for better academic achievement. You'll have access to tools you need to succeed. Financial support, such as scholarships and grants. You can take advantage of study skills workshops, tutoring groups, and study sessions. So you're going to see a little bit of repeat here. I'll find our pros again. Let's see. Networking. Greek organizations help build networks that offer prove benefits to students when looking for internships. Philanthropy. Do you see the repetition here? The articles, different articles, social identity and skills. Fun. They're just fun. Let's not forget that. Page 11, benefits, becoming part of a community. Pretty sure I've done that one. Build your social skills, participate in community service, build a network. Same things over and over again. Page, when I get into the statistics here. The house is a large, accommodating meeting place, often styled in the form of Greco-Roman architecture. It serves as the physical resting place of the organizational structure. Parties, events, functions, chapter meetings all take place there. And you can live there. You can live on Greek Row in your Greek house. Usually it's cheaper than a dorm. You're not going to get a lot of work done though. But usually your officers, your president, vice president usually work there. There is a hierarchy, president, rush chair, philanthropy chair, so many jobs. Okay, and here goes our little bit of statistics here. Okay, let's go to your outline. I got 721. Proponents of joining a fraternity sorority effectively assert these Greek student organizations develop robust social communities on college campuses. I stand by that. If you're in the right one, it can be phenomenal. Have you ever been in a club that just really was beneficial to you? You like the people in the club? It's kind of like that. If you find the right group of people and you choose the right club, it can be phenomenal. It really can. They will not only serve their chapter, maybe take on a leadership role, they will continually eventually lead to the creation of networking resources to use in their future careers. Okay, so one of the strongest arguments is strong sense of community. This is over the course of 4 years. You've got basically your Greek family, right? And a lot of people will maintain those friendships long after college is over. Commitment to servicing their communities and development of important leadership skills. So starting on any college campus as an incoming freshman, intimidating, nerve-wracking, lonely. So the biggest benefit is meeting like-minded individuals one can call brother or sister and making connections with them. Social interaction is the goal of any Greek house, even if it's religious-based or cultural-based, it doesn't matter. It's really about socially being in a club together. Because pledges come from all across the country, it is a diverse group of students they encounter. They often become close friends beyond college life. The 4 years together creates lasting bonds. College life is about discovering one's identity and forging new paths. So having a close friend in a Greek organization can help you navigate the challenges you will encounter in college. Maybe a broken heart, a failing relationship. It could be anything. Exposure to numerous social activities, y'all, it builds social skills. Connecting someone in a new relationship you may have missed out on. Number 2, besides fostering friendships, they serve their college campuses and outside communities, giving them far-reaching benefits beyond a college education. Going to a party is one thing. Philanthropy, being part of a community fund, event, giving back to the community, or fundraising takes it away from me. So in the University of Indiana found fraternity and sorority members were significantly more engaged in college life than non-members, reported greater gains in learning, were more satisfied with their college experiences. Greek organizations run similar to a corporation, which means leadership skills are a natural extension of them. So this is where I did that, leadership. Serving in a higher role instills leadership skills. This will cross over into future careers. I really do think that if you are running your sorority or fraternity, those are skills you can't even learn that in a job. That would take years for you to learn in a job. And again, it's 4 years on a college campus. Those are invaluable. Second argument in favor of joining a Greek life proves students in a sorority fraternity achieve better academic success, higher graduation rates, and establish networking access, which extends well into their careers as compared to non-members. So here's just going to be a bunch of statistics, right? So I'm going to prove to you it's a good thing. I'm going to go to page 3. Advocacy groups have found higher graduation rates, higher rates of re-enrollment from semesters to semester, and more involvement in student life on campuses. The University of Indiana determined fraternity and sorority members were significantly more engaged in college life than non-members, reported greater gains in learning, and were more satisfied with their college experiences. Remember, it's not just academic learning in college. That is the easy part. Trust me, you're going to remember my voice telling you that. You're going to go. I just had lunch over spring break with Roma. If you remember her, she went to Cornell. She's in her second year at Cornell. And I said, was I right? Is the learning the easy part? She goes, yeah. And because she's at Cornell, and Cornell is really far away, New York, she's like, just being so far away from home is really, really hard. A Gallup poll also found fraternity and sorority members were more likely to say they formed relationships with mentors and professors, were extremely active in extracurricular activities, and worked in internships where they could apply what they were learning in their college classes. One of the top benefits is networking. I cannot even tell you how big that is. There are currently more than 9 million alumni fraternities and sororities working out there in the real world. Joining one of these organizations makes you a member of an exclusive club. Being a member of a Greek club opens doors when it comes to landing interviews, listing references, or getting letters of recommendation. There are an estimated 100,000 fraternity and sorority members spread out over multiple organizations across the country. Add this to an impressive roster of more than 9 million alumni. That is your network. Nobody else on campus will have that. Greek alumni networks allow past members a way to maintain connections in different cities throughout the nation. Let me give you some bonus statistics before we end. More than half of fraternity and sorority alumni said they had a job immediately after or within 2 months of graduating college, compared with only 36% of unaffiliated college graduates. Greek alumni said they felt more engaged in their current jobs and more satisfied with their lives too. Our members are prepared. They're more likely to thrive across their personal and professional lives, and they're more likely to be engaged with their alma maters and their communities. Almost 2/3 would recommend their university to others, compared with less than half of unaffiliated alumni. When it came to donations, a whopping 54% said they had donated to their alma mater in the past year, compared with only 10% of unaffiliated alumni. Finally, those who joined Greek life were more likely to describe their college education as well worth the cost, more likely to recommend their college or university to future students. How to do, right?